Hey everyone, Suzy here from Adventurous Real Estate Investors. I am so happy that you are back for another video. It is a pleasure having you here, but today I want to talk to you about the two types of risks in any real estate investment. I know a lot of times when people are just learning about real estate, it kind of seems all amazing. It almost appears like it's too good to be true. But just like with any other type of investments, there are risks. And so I'd like to go over that with you today. So the first one I want to go over is the uncontrollable risks. So unfortunately, in real estate investing, there are some risks that cannot be controlled, but that is all of life and that is totally okay. So these are risks just to look out for because it is a way that you can still add a layer of protection for yourself, and it can really help you make a decision before investing in a real estate asset. So the primary risks that cannot be controlled have to do with the location or the overall market. And then I also want to talk about the sponsor. So whereas investors can control like operational risks that have to do with the property itself, they can't control the risks associated with buying in a bad location or a bad market. So they put themselves in a position where they cannot mitigate the effects of buying in an undesirable location. So something that I love about our property manager is that she tells us, like, I love the properties, but the location is what is killing the properties. Like, I know that the resident base is good, but with the location, it's really hard to get people there. And that's just because, like, it can be a high crime area. And so there are just so many limitations to improving like the safety of the property. So the market is very similar in the way of location, is that there are limitations on what can be done to mitigate like the impact of buying in an undesirable market. So when you are just trying to figure out like what passive investments are best for you, that is a great place to understand. Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking for appreciation? Are you looking at places where the population is increasing or decreasing? What are happening with the jobs in that area? Will the sponsor be able to make it so that the property can still perform correctly? Because they still need to have the ability to collect the rent increases. They still have to be able to maintain the occupancy. Like the net operating income still has to grow. And so that's really hard to do in a declining area. Another uncontrollable risk that I talked about is the sponsor, but that can also be a controllable risk, and that's a controllable risk by you. So that is where it's really important that you take the time to really trust the sponsor who is operating the asset, because the same thing, like with location, it can be a super great location that most people know, like real estate has done really well here. But if the sponsor isn't fully involved or just doesn't know the location or the property enough, then the property can do poorly still. A great property in a great location can still go south if the sponsor is not just phenomenal and like constantly on their game still. And so that is also an uncontrollable risk, but it can be controlled by you. So definitely look out for those three for the uncontrollable risks. But for the controllable risks, so these are like once you've found that sponsor that you know, like, and trust, and you've seen their portfolio, or you just know that they understand the thesis or have somebody experienced on their team, like that's when you know that they're competent and that they have a lot of involvement and they can control a lot of things that happen to that asset. So a few examples of that are vacancy, rent delinquency, like curb appeal, property keep up, expenses, marketing and awareness. Those are all things that the sponsor has control over. Like any good operator and team can control and mitigate those risks associated with any of those items. And these types of risk bring rewards for the owners because they are problems that allow for improvements in efficiencies, which lead to value creation. And that's huge. And something we do at Adventurous Real Estate Investors is that we have a weekly meeting with our property manager where we just go over everything that is in our project software and being like, what is happening here? What is happening here? What is the update from last week? Where are we with marketing? Where are we with leasing? We try to really come up with a lot of creative ideas so that the property manager doesn't feel alone in doing it by themselves, because just a lot of minds that can come up with creativity and it really works that way. And so just when you are deciding on which, passive investment is best for you, it's just really key to know the difference. So although it may seem straightforward, like taking a step back and really evaluating the sponsor and like what their business plan is, what location they've chosen, like will their business plan work in that location, just really evaluating that the first time, the second time, the third time, it'll get so much easier, but it'll help you to be able to focus on what's really important in that business plan. And from an operator's point of view, as they continue to progress in their real estate journey, they also can really focus on creating value with the property, because that's what we all want. We want to be able to be a part of a real estate opportunity where it's creating value for the property and for the community. And so once again, I just wanted to go over like the two types of risks in any sort of real estate investment, which is the controllable and uncontrollable.
So anyways, if you have any more questions, please feel free to drop those questions in the comments below. We'll be sure to address all the questions or comments that you have. And if you found value in this video, smash that like button below, please. And of course, if you like the content that we put out, please subscribe to our channel here and ring that bell so you'll be notified when we release cool videos like this. All right, so thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, explore more, adventure awaits.